Hello everyone. I'm a fresh PhD graduate actually, maybe 3 months ago. Here in this work, we explored machine learning algorithms for selecting air traffic controller candidates. In the past, we conducted this work with Prof. Müjgan Sağır. In the past, we worked with ANP and AHP with this problem. And this time, we were curious about if a machine learning model can be helpful to select air traffic controller candidates. Actually, the job of air traffic controllers is not very well known, but they play a crucial role in air transportation. They are constantly in communication with pilots on the other side of the communication line. So here I will firstly talk about the problem definition and then current system based on an institution who has an air traffic control department. And I will also talk about machine learning approach we used here, and then the results and conclusion. The job of air traffic controls is very crucial, as I stated earlier. Here you can see two figures from the training stage of air traffic controllers on our aerodrome control simulator. The training is actually conducted with one-to-one method. It means an instructor can only train one trainee at a time, and the duration may vary like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So the training is costly, and their duty is may impact the safety of air transportation. So the selection of these professionals are very important. Here I also put a short video. This is from the training stage actually, to make it maybe a little bit more clear. As I stated earlier, ATCO selection is an important task, and interview stage is actually one of the examinations. Usually, ATCO selection consists of several different exams, like aptitude tests, mathematics tests, etc. However, interviews are costly, time-consuming, subjective, and it could actually introduce some potential biases because it's a subjective assessment method. In the past, we used ANP and AHP approach to support interview exam. And we use several criteria based on the current system, but we also add some new criteria here. And this was done to standardize this process. It doesn't remove the interview stage. However, in the current study, we aim to remove the interview stage completely, and it will help us to save time and save money. And I also want to talk about the results of the previous research. Here, the first figure indicates the results, indicates the comparison with the interview and interview plus ANP. Interview is the actual results. Interview plus ANP is the results of ANP. Interview supported by ANP. And in this, and the other one is interview plus AHP and current rankings. In these two studies, AHP and ANP rankings were the same, but the rankings were a little bit different. So it could make some differences in the selected and eliminated candidates. But in the current data, it doesn't change. The rankings of these two methods didn't change, but it can change for the different data sets. Here I also want to talk about the current system. In the current system, candidates are selected based on some initial criteria, such as physical disabilities, speech disorders, hearing loss, because those are important for them to ensure their job. So these are some initial criteria. If those candidates pass these criteria, they proceed with the multi-stage examinations. And here in the current study, we used 194 candidates data. And here I listed the exams in the current system. For example, the first exam is mathematics and an aptitude test, and an interview and simulation. Here we are dealing with the interview stage. And our objective is to select the most appropriate candidates for this profession using machine learning models. And in this way, we aim to eliminate any shortcomings of the interview process. And we used data from 2014 with 194 candidates. Here we tried several machine learning algorithms, including logistic regression, support vector machine, and decision tree. We used some data related to candidates, such as gender, previous exams. These exams are actually done before the selection process. So we have those numbers, those exams. And high school domain indicates if they study science or literature in the high school, and their GPA, city of birth, etc. And results indicate that logistic regression and support vector machine could be helpful selecting air traffic controller candidates using machine learning algorithms. So these are the metrics actually, and as you can see, the accuracy, recall, and F1 scores is high enough. And here we proceed with logistic regression because logistic regression and support vector machine reveals the same results. So we proceeded with logistic regression. Here you can see the eliminated and selected candidates, false, negative, and false, true with test data. For example, the model decided to eliminate 46 candidates, and they were actually eliminated. And one of them is eliminated, but it should be selected in the current exam. And for example, it decided 10 candidates should be selected, and it was true in the current exam. But 2 of the candidates were selected, but actually they were eliminated in the actual system. But as you can see, the selected and eliminated candidates, the number of selected and eliminated candidates high enough to represent actual system. Here you can see eliminated and selected candidates for the test data. Red square indicates incorrect predictions, and there is only 3 incorrect predictions here. And when we compare the results of machine learning algorithm with previous research, in the previous research, it was a different method than machine learning algorithm. So we can partly compare the results. For example, in the previous research, 4 out of 30 candidates were misclassified, and it can be, the accuracy could be calculated as 0.8987. And in machine learning model, 1 out of 11 candidates was misclassified, and the accuracy could be calculated as 0.91. But this is only for the test data. For other subgroups of data, the results can be very high. And here you can see the important features to selecting air traffic controllers candidates. Interestingly, city of birth is seem very important here, but it could be interesting because it doesn't reflect the ability or expertise, anything about the candidate. We think that this is important because this institution is only this institution is the only institution in Turkey. So the people from other cities doesn't know about this institution. And there are also some accessibility issues. It indicates that if the candidate is from that city, they have a higher chance of getting accepted. This is a very interesting result, actually. And the aptitude test is also important. This could be understandable because this is the one of the exam during the selection process. And gender could be also important factor. And high school type, for example, math could be also important factor selecting air traffic control candidates. In conclusion, here support vector machine and logistic regression can replicate interview process, and machine learning models can reduce subjectivity of the interview process. And this research could provide a foundation for more efficient, reliable selection methods for future research. And our limitations here is that we only used 194 the data for 194 candidates. Machine learning models can work very well with a high number of data, but here we have this limitation because obtaining the data is not easy, but it could show something for future research. And another limitation is we used actually the interview results to train machine learning models. And if there were some biases in that data, machine learning algorithm will also learn that biases. And this could be another limitation, but here we propose to use some additional features to increase the objectivity of the model. For example, using some short videos about candidates and for example, their grading their speaking and some other characteristic features, and we can also add some additional features to train machine learning models. So that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Well, we thank you, Mustafa.
Thank you.
Is there any question? We have time for one question.
I have one question, in fact.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure if I understood well, but why the city of birth is an important criteria, and what happened if that person born in one city and then move to the other one, in one of the one that when that institutions are based on?
Yeah, this is a good question. Actually, we don't know if a candidate moved to another city. We only know their birth of city. And this could be also important if that candidate was born in that city, because somehow they will know about the institution. They will know about the air traffic controller, because many of the candidates has some relatives, have some family members working in aviation too, yeah, and they apply for this profession, so they have some basic knowledge about the institution. And if they were born in that city and moved to another city, they will still know something about the institution and the profession. But we don't know if they moved or not. It's not available in the data, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I think it's
an-
very late for some of you at the other side of the world, and thank you very much for assisting to this session. And I think we'll see all tomorrow.
I think there's another question.
There's another question.
Oh, that is.
There's another. Okay, sorry, I didn't say it. Sorry, sorry.
No problem. Actually, it was not a big question. I just like to contribute something. Hania, congratulations by catching that point. This city of birth was something Mustafa and I also was discussing, but we did not just want to hide it. It was an interesting outcome, really. I couldn't give any, couldn't make any sense for me also, but as Mustafa says, sometimes, I mean, it is not the city that the candidates are living even, it is just the city of birth. If it was the city, the home city that they live there, we would be saying that they could be familiar with the institute and they could be, waiting for that, and they are familiar with the system, with the school and the other things. So this could be some advantage, but the criteria is the city of the birth. Actually, we don't have anything else to justify it except what Mustafa says. So this is really an interesting thing that just came from the data. And one more comment from me is when you have a multi-criteria decision-making problem, if you solve that problem by using different multi-criteria decision-making techniques, you always stuck with that. If you have different outcomes, then you find yourself in this situation that now which outcome I am going to be counting on. So this is itself is also a different multi-criteria decision-making problem for me. But in our case, I'm happy that the outcome was not so different than the one that we obtained some years ago by using AHP and ANP. So this shows us the power of the AHP and ANP, because we did not find ourselves in that difficult position. In some confidence level, the results were more or less the same, the rankings. And so that is something we cannot generalize this. This is just one, specific problem in aviation society, but it was something. So we are happy to have that achievement. And I like to say thank you to Mustafa as my co-author by presenting this for both of us, because we are not in the same city for the moment. So I want to take this chance quickly for that also. And thank you very much for giving me this chance to explain this. Thank you.
Okay.
Very good, Müjgan.
Thanks, Enrique.
Okay, see you all tomorrow.
See you.